Okay, so guys, welcome back. Of course, you do on top your #1 family entertainment channel. They call me the slimmest of them, but call me Slimity, call me Adetola or Daring Wali. Like I told you guys, I said I was going for a very quick break, and I told you guys I was going to come back. Okay, so I am back. And obviously, I didn't come back alone. I came back with the barrister. You know how it is on a Wednesday. We know they joke with anything that has to do with the law. And as it is now, we say coronavirus and all of that, so many laws are being made. And it's just okay for us to obey and follow. Based on the fact that we know say most of these laws now something where we say guys do for we own good. Okay, but barrister has been on something for a while. Not a while anyways. It started last week, and that now legalities of marriage, everything you need to know when it comes to marriage. So we are revisiting it, and it's a good one that barrister has chosen to continue on that again this morning. So ladies and gentlemen, obviously easier, and barrister is social distancing himself.
Yeah, can see. Slimmy, hiya.
Hi barrister,
Nice
how you doing?
I beg, make it no back.
No, it's cool. Come on, they know.
I beg. Show them how they move. Come out.
But so where you moving to? They say 2 centimeters. This is even more than
2 miles.
this is 2 miles already now.
We have to move the miles.
Don't move out of shot.
To God be the glory.
Yeah.
You see, our nation is blessed.
Yeah.
And we're not going under. This corona will pass. And this nation will be stronger. But in the meantime, let's face and comply with all the laws. For those of us who are lawyers, this is not about the restriction of the fundamental right of freedom of movement. No, this is emergency period when we should all stay and obey the laws, obey the hygiene laws, obey the health laws. But for today, we started something last week, and I just want us to quickly continue on that. The legalities of marriage. I have some questions which, even after the show, people asked me. One of them said, because I asked if I could relate the question online, and he said yes, I could. On the show, it says that the husband, they got married. The husband went to America about 5 years ago, and has not bothered to come back home, and has made it difficult, or probably they tried to go to America. She tried to go and meet the husband, and so far nothing has happened. And lately he's seeing some things on Facebook that suggest that the man is married in America. We'll address that issue later. But let me quickly recap on what we're saying, that marriage can come in various forms. Marriage is, you can say, you have a marriage between you and your spouse based on the consent of parents. So long, before it used to be that even underage children, they go join them, say they don't marry before. But now, the thing that happen, we say now, the law says that you cannot, it's contrary to natural justice, equity, and good conscience to join, say, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, or to say that one old man go marry one young lady. They happen again. It must not happen. Although we know that some places don't happen, but if it happen, that child can have the right to invalidate the marriage. When she comes of age, she has the right to say that I was never married to that person, and that sense. But really, what law is looking at, basically, that the parents can give consent to marriage, can say, okay, you and you marry, and once that parent consent is given, it does not even require you going to registry to go and do it. Marriage, because what happens is that the authority figure is what gives the consent to say you and you can now become or can start acting as husband and wife. So traditional you can be, and that's why in traditional senses, the family to family will come sit down together and say, okay, your family and your family won't marry, so that's a marriage. Second type of marriage is the religious marriage. So your imam can join you, your mom can join you once there is consent of if the two of you are adults, you are old enough to make a decision between 18 and 18 going forward, 21, 18, 19, 21. Both of you can make your mind and say you want to become married, and go to your imam, and imam can say, okay, If that is okay, he can lay your hands and lay his hands upon you, or can bless you and pray for you. And from that moment onward, the law acknowledges, say, na two of you don't marry. And if na pastor, the same thing. In the law acknowledge, say, two of you don't marry. But the two way I don't mention, potentially they polygamous. If so, the first one, there is no marriage in the African sense. We talk say you no fit marry more than one wife. Particularly in Nigeria, from north to south, west to east, the tradition we say polygamy is acceptable. It is okay. And for inside religion, even though it be religion, because Nigeria no be a religious state in that sense. We have a freedom, fundamental right of freedom of worship, of association. So a man can be a Christian tomorrow, become a Muslim tomorrow, the next tomorrow, can be a Muslim today, become a Christian tomorrow. So it depends on the variation of the place where you choose and what have you. And even inside some religion, you can marry, much more than even one wife. 4 wives, 5 wives, 6 wives. So to that extent, it become difficult to say that you have a marriage that is like one man, one wife. Now the last one where I don't talk, we say, now the one where we say, now legal marriage. That legal marriage we say, one man by law, one wife, one man, one wife, one man, one wife. Nothing. If the man, see, as they talk, say, make it hear me very well. There's what they call bigamy in law, the law of bigamy. The offense of bigamy. It's still there for a law. So if a man marry more than one wife in the tenure, during the time with dependency of that in marriage under the law, it say if you go for 7 years of imprisonment to begin, so make you not take and play, say, no, they happen. The thing say for most time because of custom, the woman no won't go, the woman no won't take them up, or the people say, no be new thing now. From ages past, bear not the marry more than one wife. You won't do this one, all those kind of things. But the law, and I need to tell you, the law they different from moral. Say everybody they pass one way out of convenience. Don't me say that one way na legal thing. So one day before you know it, someone can just stop and say, today you're under arrest for passing one way. Say we don't pass them before. No be your excuse. That's why you have to be very careful about this issue of and no matter if you want to, under the legal marriage, the process. Once a man marries under that place, you cannot even marry. You see, when somebody say, I marry for village, I don't abandon the girl, or probably no, me and Jumoke, na traditional will do. Now me and Bola won't go do legal marriage. It's not possible. The law says that if you want to marry somebody under the law, per se, under the law, not be under traditional, and not be under the church or mosque, under the law, you must marry only the woman way you want to marry. You cannot, if you want to marry a Jumoke under the custom, then go and marry a Bola under the law. No, the subsequent marriage to Bola under the law no go work. Now null and void. And if you don't understand what I mean by null and void, the English we say, once you do that kind of marriage, once they establish say your marriage for custom, you never divorce the woman well. You never end that marriage. Before you go marry a Bola for under the law. Once you don't do, that means that subsequent marriage, no matter how long, no matter if it's 21 years or 21, 31 years, that Jumoke marriage, now be the marriage
that's
for
the
law.
Marriage under the law.
For law, because the subsequent marriage, na null and void from the beginning. For lawyer, they call them say null and void ab initio. That is from the beginning there was no marriage. So in the real sense, there is no need. You and Bola no go dey divorce. There's no need for divorce because the only thing just a pronouncement say this is marriage. That one different. Pronouncement say this marriage na null and void. It's different from divorce. Divorce will say two of them get marriage. So for null and void marriage, anybody can say, court, pronounce these two, say they never married before, and things like that. So, so we did.
Maybe, Barrister, let me hold you up a bit. Let's quickly go for a break so that we can open our phone lines when we get back.
No problem.
Okay,
we'll see you back.
So, guys, indeed, we are going to see you guys in a bit. Let's quickly go for this break, and then I'll be back to open the phone line.
Our people dey talk say ignorance of the law no be excuse o.
If my name na in for property, my child no fit take that thing.
But I get one question now. If person die now and he put him wife or he put any of his relative as next.
Ignorance of the law no be excuse o. That na why we get one ogbonge program wey we dey call Legal Matter on top WAP TV.
Okay, so just in case you have any business, so you go on make WAP TV call Epichoke Matter on top. We are very affordable. Always feel free to call those numbers what have been mentioned, right? So guys, welcome back. Time check from here, 29 minutes. Now I don't dodge the hour of 8 o'clock. Destination point on the show now 9, okay? And Barrister Day here, it's a Wednesday, and you know what we do every Wednesday. They call me the slimmest of them, or call me Slimity. We don't look the side of marriage, legalities of marriage, and Barrister don't start again since last week. We've been revisiting, and we are still revisiting it. And before he went on that break, he actually mentioned, you know, the three, they will say there are classes of food, but this one are like 3 different types of marriages, what we know for this part of the world: religious, traditional, and of course legal. And when they talk about traditional, obviously told you guys, the man is liable to marry more than one woman, you know, because now under tradition. And of course for religious I think it's something related, because if he swap from being a Muslim to a Christian to a Muslim, trust me, possibilities they say you get the chance to marry.
And even if you backslide for
and yes, as a Christian, he can choose to marry as many as he wants.
If you backslide, you say I don't even do Christian again.
But under the law, you're entitled to just one man and one woman. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's open the phone lines. Feel free to call, feel free to ask your questions, anything you want to know when it comes to marriage. Please do not hide it, do not feel ashamed to ask. Okay, 08105434984, and of course 08173147589. So Bryce, I have my first question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm going to read as I wrote here. I said, under traditional marriage, can introduction be taken as marriage, since it has to do with the consent of both parents? So can we see introduction as marriage?
Okay. I like that question, because someone has also asked me before that. You see, there are stages within inside traditional marriage. There are stages. The first stage now, the people getting to know each other. Then probably somebody links them up. And then they get to know each other. The second stage is the family to introduce themselves to each other, to get to know. And then at that introduction stage, to then plan for the real day when they will do the whole process. So it's almost like we're getting to know each other. The introduction does not by itself mean that the marriage itself has been done, because the process of marriage, in most climes, it has to do with the bride price issue. That that's when the families exchange bride price, the wine carrying, the whatever exchange and things like that. So that's to a large extent. But I must say this, because I've heard it over and over. The man has not paid my bride price, but both of you have gone for legal marriage. So if you have gone for legal marriage nullifies anything. And I want you to understand it. The moment a couple goes through, you go to say and say, we are going to the registry to go and do a wedding. That registry, or going to registry to go and do your legal marriage, it nullifies. It does not really need any addition. It does not need you going to church. It does not need you going to your parents to consent again, because the law says that for you to marry under the law, you must be 21 and above, and if you have sometimes 18, 21 above, as long as it's legal marriage. Once you get to that legal age of consent, both of you can enter into
without the permission of anybody.
Your parents. You don't need to. So basically, I think in Nigeria it's 21. Although like variation, it could be 18. But by 21, if 2 of you enter a registry and wed, you don't. So you don't come and tell somebody that he doesn't know my people. Because of that, that's the basis for divorce. That's not the basis for divorce. Not knowing your people, because the law does not, in that sense, accommodate your people. You don't know that you are from somebody. But for the definition of marriage under the law, is that it's a union of 2 persons.
Okay.
A man and a woman to the exclusion of all others for the rest of their lives.
So you do not need the blessings of the parents.
More or less, you don't, because under that legal marriage, you don't, because what you need is the blessing of the registrar, more or less like the authority of the registrar.
Okay.
And that's why some people don't want the registrar to do it for them. So they say, okay, I will start at the registry, do the registration of the wedding at the registry, but I will do the celebration in a church. A church that is licensed and registered for that purpose. So you start the registration. And so when you have gotten that place.
Okay, sorry, let's take Akim from Abuja. Hello, Akim, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. Good morning, Barrister.
Akim, good morning. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Please, I would like to confirm something from you.
Go ahead.
You know, they say that if you have this legal marriage, registry marriage, as we know it, that if you separate with your wife for 2 years, I don't know if it applies to other marriages, that in law, it becomes null and void. How true is that?
No, it doesn't. Sorry, Akim, thank you very much for that question. In legal marriage, once the marriage is well done from the beginning, there's nothing called nullity or voidness. The marriage stays. It's just that the two parties, when they have what is called irreconcilable difference or differences, whichever one, once they have that kind of irreconcilable differences, then they can go to the court, and that's why the people call correct marriage. Is that they can go to the court and ask that, can you please give us an order of divorce? And there are grounds for that possibility. One of the grounds for that possibility of irreconcilable difference is that if the two parties have been separated for 2 years, probably there's a desertion, not separation. When there's a desertion, when one party deserts the other party for 2 years, it's a basis of saying that we have irreconcilable difference. So one party packs the load out, or one party just leaves the other party, without it was not by consent. So we just pack out. Or there's also what they call technical what they call it, desertion. Technical desertion is that, let's say is a spouse, let's say the man is the man that drove the woman out of the house. You understand me? So if the man drove the woman out of the house, so in essence, it's not the woman that deserted. It's the man that drove the woman out. So for that purpose, the law regards as a technical desertion. That means it is the man that deserted, not the woman. It's just that the woman was not in a position financially or economically to say, I'm the owner of the house. So the woman say, get out of my house, I'm packing your load out. So that's a technical desertion. There's another one that is called it's another word for it. I just remembered it now. But in that one, it's not desertion. It's that the two parties, by consent, by mutual consent, they are not together again. For some reasons. Okay. You can call it a separation, or probably I'm trying to remember the technical word for it. In that sense, both of them are separated, and probably they started drifting apart. Was a convenient thing. It could be because of work, it could be because of things, but bit by bit you can see that the drifting was that they are becoming separate and separate. It might have been from the beginning, two of them did different, but after a while.
Let's take Amaka, Barrister. Amaka, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you doing there?
I'm fine, thank you, and you?
Very well. Okay, you get questions or contributions to make on the show?
I have questions.
Please feel free. Go on. Go on. Barrister is waiting.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Amaka.
I'm fine, thank you, and you?
Okay, fine, thank you very much.
I have questions to ask.
Okay,
go ahead.
Loud, but it's fine.
According to what the barrister said, hello?
Yeah, go on.
According to what the barrister said, he said once you've done a legal marriage, then there's no need to pay the dowry and all that. How possible is that?
Okay. Amaka, thank you very much. You see, when it comes the law as per legal marriage does not have any provision for bride price. It does not. You see, really, we are coloring our custom with legality. You know, say in England, for instance, there's nothing called bride price amongst parties. In America, there's nothing called bride price. It's just that our tradition here accommodates bride price. Yeah. And that's why I see people doing what they call a double-decker marriage, or sometimes a triple-decker marriage. A double-decker marriage is that
three processes.
you first go to your parents, do your tradition so that can have consent. Then you go to your church, you go to religion, and then you go to your church. Yeah. They call it triple-decker marriage. Or you do double-decker marriage. But it has to be the same person. You're just trying to fulfill all righteousness in quote, that so that people can know that you have come to pay the bride price. Your pastor can know that, or your imam can know that you are a good disciple of the faith, and then you go to law and say, okay, now we want to have it done. But you see, if you stop, say, at bride price alone, which some people can do, which is permissible in law, you can stop at bride price. But if you do at that, that means it's a customary marriage, and the tenets of custom will be what will be the guidelines for that marriage. If you stop at your religion, that means it's a religious marriage, but more or less by default, it's a customary marriage. So the tenets of your religion and your custom will be the mainstay for that marriage. So, but if you say that you want to go, because that's why if a couple say probably sworn in love, probably their head is sworn in love, they run to the registry. All the registry need to ask them, and they will ask them is that, are you of age? Once you can show that you're of age, they will never ask them if you have paid your bride price. Never ask you. It's not their purview to ask you that question. So they will just go ahead and do the right thing. So, and that's how it is. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So going back to Akim's question quickly, the question is that on
You're
the
talking about desertion.
Also on that, so there's a desertion and there's a separation. Separation is that for 3 years you guys are separated, and because of that, that separation has brought a division, irreconcilable difference amongst you. So for that 3 years, both of you can say, okay, on the basis of this, we can ask for divorce. But for the one on a desertion, it's 3 years. Okay. So it is 2 years.
Okay, let's take Emilia from Kogi. Emilia, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right there. So you get question for the barrister, or you have contributions to make on the show?
Question.
Go on. He's here.
Sir, I want to ask if a marriage that is done in church, but before the wedding, they went for the local government to submit her passport, and it took some days before we didn't go to a court or registry. I don't know if it's the same thing. They just took the passport and placed it on the board for some days. I think 21 days. Then before we did the church wedding. But we didn't see the paper. They took it to the church. So it was during the wedding that we signed it. And they returned it. So I don't know if it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, Emilia.
Legal marriage.
Yeah, thank you very much, Emilia, for that good question. It's the same thing, because what has happened is that, you see, when it comes to legal marriage, there are two aspects of it. There's the area of registration of the marriage, and that is between you and your spouse to be. Both of you just go to the registry, put your pictures up and what have you. And once the completion, they put notice out so that in case anybody has an objection. Once that is, when there's no objection, what you have is what is called the registrar's certificate of marriage, meaning that there's a permission to go ahead and do the celebration of marriage. The registration is between you and your spouse. The celebration is to show the public that we are about to wed and we are calling you out. And that one has to be in the presence of 2 or more parties. I get me. So that's the wedding. That's why the wedding actually takes place in the registry. So some people could tell the registrar, oh, we don't want to do the celebration here at the registry. The registrar will ask you, is your church registered for this purpose? If it's registered, they will check their record. If it's a registered church for marriage, what they will do is to give you that certificate of marriage, that registered certificate, to go to your church, because your church will have had a government booklet showing that they have the license to marry. So what they are doing is that your pastor will become like a registrar on behalf of government, but now is donning the garment of a pastor.
Okay, let's take Latif, barrister. Latif, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
Thank you.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, so barrister is here to take your questions or contributions.
Well, I just want to ask. I want to ask about like a friend of mine is of age, and then he has already married to a woman that is not bear him a child for a very long time, and then like over 20 or 18 to 19 years. So, and then he just had to go and marry another wife. When he took the girl to the registry, and they asked him that how old is he? He said he's over 40, let's say 43 years. Then they asked him to go and bring affidavit for bachelorhood. How come they be asking him to?
He better not give that
affidavit for bachelor. Does that necessary that he should?
Latif is a way of vetting if he was married before. Because I'm sure you see that's what I'm talking about, Latif. They're trying to know whether he was married before, and he must have told them, because the Lord says that if you're married once, you cannot marry again. Whether in other tradition or what have you. So they're trying to ask him, show us that you are not married before, because people are cooking up fake divorce and what have you. So okay, if you say you are not married before,
we need to see proof.
Okay, or if you don't want, because some people are even also afraid to go and do fake certificate. Yeah. So we need to see proof that you are not married, or that you divorced or what have you. Okay, if you say you are not married before, after 3, go and bring a affidavit, and tell you what, that's even very dangerous. Because the moment you swear to an affidavit on falsehood, that's perjury. That's a criminal act of perjury.
I don't understand. Is it a proof of him not being married before? Yes, that's what they are demanding.
Certificate, go and bring an affidavit of
Is it coming with the age? Is it coming with the age? Is it because he's that old? That is why they are demanding? Or for everyone that wants to marry, under the law, they will tell you to go and bring that?
No. Probably is new, but probably is new. But if you can, probably if the circumstance look like, okay, this is just first marriage, and also I think probably, because when I did, nobody asked me that. But it's very possible that, but that's even a smart way. If I were the administrators, I would, that's a good way to say, okay, show me that you were not married before. You do an affidavit, and I put the affidavit down. If later you are found to have done, aside from the fact that you and your wife, ab initio null and void, there's also the legal criminal case against you that you lied under oath.
Yeah.
And then I will take you up, because this is your signature, this is your picture to say that you are not married before, whereas you are married, and the crime for swearing under oath under for falsehood is 7 years or there by imprisonment. So that's a criminal. So tell your friends.
That's a big one. Hello, Dennis.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Yes, fine, thank you. How are you people?
We are very well.
Well done, barrister. Good morning.
Good morning, Dennis. God bless you.
Yes, yeah, please, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please. What if one of the people is seeking for divorce?
Yeah.
And the other person is not interested in divorce? What happens?
Yeah. You see, it's just if that is the case, when the parties that is interested in divorce approaches the court will do everything to see that they are reconciled if it's possible. But if it's not reconcilable, then the court will have no choice than to split them, because if one, you see, the marriage is not a force, is not a force issue. It's about the consensual and mutual agreement of the both parties that they are in love and they want to, work out what marriage entails, which is the work of matrimony. Of course, it's not easy by any means. So to that extent, it becomes an issue that the court can say, okay, yes, it can go, two of you can go. And
okay. Another caller from Sokoto. Hello, Daniel. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right, please go on with your question.
Okay. The barrister said once you are married, you cannot marry again.
Yes.
So I want to ask a question. What about
once you're married under the law?
Under the law. Under the law.
Okay. My question is, what about contract marriage? If you're into contract marriage, So, and I would like you to emphasize more on contract marriage, the duration, the specification, and how does it work.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Can I add to this question, Barrister? Maybe I should start from where I felt you should have started from. Is there anything like contract marriage?
Yes, there are, not in Nigeria. We're talking about probably in the
arranging marriage.
No, yes, arranging marriage abroad and what have you.
For visa?
Yes, for visa and for whatever. In many climes, Daniel, are you there?
I think.
Yeah, Daniel. In many climes, that is a very illegal thing. Yes, people try to do it. I don't know any country where it is allowed, really, in terms of legality. And that's why when it is exposed, it becomes a basis for jail. In fact, I cannot tell you the number of people who, abroad and go to jail because of contract marriages, because it's putting putting the freedom of even the residents you are married to in jeopardy and what have you, and for you. And, I've seen even people that they paid to have contract marriage, and the people that they paid took off the money. And the thing about illegality is that you cannot even report illegality. So if I'm doing illegal business with you, and you cheat me out of that illegal business, it's not given to me to go and say that I want to report to police that you cheated me out of this illegality, because both, in fact, for me reporting it, I'll be arrested. So contract marriage is about, let's even put it in context. So for those of you who are listening, okay, we're not going to marry ourselves in the real sense of marrying ourselves, but I need this semblance of marriage for the purpose of what I want to achieve. Whether I want to achieve a particular contract, or I want to achieve a particular status, or I want to look as though I'm married. Even in Nigeria, you can find some people that probably they are into same-sex dysfunction, and they want to.
Sorry, sir. Let me just hold you up. Let's take Femi from Edo. Hello, Femi. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right. Please go on with your question.
Okay. My question is that we've heard about this.
You heard about what? Can you come again? We didn't get that.
Okay.
I said my question is that we've heard about different types of marriage.
Okay.
The legal marriage, the one in religious life, and this customary marriage.
Yeah.
And the barrister told us the customary marriage has to do with the traditional one that has the consent of both parents.
Yeah.
Now, my question is there any legal material that backs up such marriage? Like I'm a Yoruba man now. When I went to my marriage, it was this traditional marriage that we are blessed. But there was no legal material backing it up. So I want to know if there is any means of acquiring such documents. Because I only knew it is in the registry that we are always issued a certificate.
No, there's no. Thank you very much. There's no legal document that will back.
To sign,
that will back. It's customary marriages, just the consent of parents and the families. That's all. There's no legal marriage, but both of you can now do an affidavit of marriage under the custom. I get him. You can do just to say that we have a marriage, and then we're swearing to an oath that we have a marriage under the custom, and that stays. And then probably put the date, so and so and so. That probably individually, you as Sam, I so and so hereby state on order that I was married on so and the marriage took place at this time. So it's an oath you are swearing to. Your wife also does the same thing. So that becomes like your evidence of marriage, as it were, of that customary marriage. But there's it depends on the particular authority you want to use it for. They might accept it, they might not accept it. But that is a basis that, look, we were married under the custom. And same thing, you can also do that for your church or your mosque marriage too. Oh, this is the custom. We had the marriage, so I'm swearing to an affidavit that it was done in the presence of this one by Pastor so and so, or by Imam so and so, or Babalawo so and so. You can put that there, so that can become like a document of some sort. But that is your generated. So for the contract marriage, just remember that on the basis of that, so you can say that you're going to be as though you are married to me, but you're not married to me. But you see, that could be because there's no legality in it. I don't know any country where there's legality to such marriage. I don't know, but as far as I know, in Nigeria it's not allowed. Anywhere it's not allowed. So when you are going to it, just know that it's more of illegality. But people do it, but it's not as though when it comes up, they were going to have any legal remedy in it. There's a question I'm trying to answer. I was trying to answer about the issue of I forgot it now.
Is it the distance?
The distance.
Is it distance?
No,
the,
no,
one
that
that,
was,
the one that said, okay, no, you've answered. That said, if your partner, no, if you do not want divorce,
yes,
the other
there's
person
another before that. Before that, yes, the question before that. I hope I remember the question because I was trying to answer that question. But more or less, just know that marriage under the law, it goes a longer way in terms of dimension and legality.
Should we consider it to be the best?
Yes, it is the best. It's the best. Honestly, it's the best in the sense that it gives more of definition to the issue. Because you see, whether you like it or not, if you're married under the custom, which almost, I mean, not almost, every one of us at the point in time, you have to leave. You know, when you are closing your eyes in your final sleep, all the things. And don't forget that, you know, you brought nothing to world, so you are not taking anything back. Everything around you would be judged by the custom, you know, in terms of how your children get the property, who gets who, and you know, by and large, even your will may not be able to douse the influence of that culture. But you see, under the legal marriage, it becomes easy to define what, how, based on the essentialities.
Okay, I think this should be the last call for today. Hello, Kay.
Time.
Yeah, because of the time. Hello, Kayode, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right, so please go on with your question. Go on.
I want to ask a question.
All right, feel free.
Regarding the institutions that conduct this marriage. The federal authority, the state or the local government, which one is the...
Yes. Thank you for that question, Kayode.
And if there's any marriage that has been done in the federal, how valid is it also today?
Thank you very much. The law, as per marriage is a federal matter, and that's why if you marry under the law in Lagos, you can divorce in Kano. If you marry under the law at Enugu, you can divorce at Maiduguri. Anyway. You know, so it's a federal matter. So that's why local government and state government foraging or going to that tough is like an aberration. And that's why, for instance, anyone, if you are going abroad, in most instances, they will rather want you to give them the marriage certificate that comes from a federal entity, like Ikoyi registry, not even the Ikeja. Ikoyi registry.
They used to have one at Ikeja before.
They have it. And so at the point in time, Lagos State, for instance, went into and they have all SCDAs, so many, whatever. And the law there's a judgment that says that those ones are not known in law. So and that's why I keep telling people, as much as possible, look for a federal registry to conduct your wedding. That one has a firmer legal basis than those local government ones, you know, so that tomorrow don't find.
Oh, we still have Debo.
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 If it's Debo, I know.
Which of the... Hello, Debo. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Slimity.
Good morning there. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, please go on.
Yeah, I want to ask Barrister a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, Barrister, in case of divorce,
yes,
does the letter have to come from the registry you registered, as you guys registered the divorce, or it may come from any court?
No. Because you are mixing up, Debo. Because you see, the registry is not the same as court. Registry is the gatekeeper, is the one that starts the process and then helps you to finalize it. The court is the place where if you want to end the marriage. So you can go to any court in the land, so long it's not magistrate court, high court. You can
appeal?
Go to no appeal court, because that's to. And some marriages have gone to even to Supreme Court in terms of divorce, when it comes to splitting of property and things like that. But it starts from high court.
Okay.
So, Debo, the registry is just to say that you have married. Okay, like you went to university, like gives you a certificate. You can use it to work anywhere. So you can go to any court in Nigeria. You can even go court abroad. Yeah, you know, so long as you can establish the basis that this certificate came from the right place. So a marriage that started in Nigeria can be divorced in America. Actually, can be divorced in America. So
as a matter of fact, I have 2 questions, but
yeah, and even I did not answer that question of that woman whose husband has been.
Is it possible we start from there next week?
Next
okay,
week.
So thank you to everyone. We don't take our time.
And if you need to ask me questions, just
you can just send him on WhatsApp.
Obviously,
Obviously,
they'll
you
put
guys
my
will
number
get
on the
to
screen.
see that. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again next week, Wednesday, for another legal side of marriage. But then the show continues tomorrow.
And stay safe.
And please stay safe. Wash your hands. Sanitize if you can.